Okay, so the first question is, what does the SWAG program mean to you?
To me, my name is Alex Higginbotham. To me, the SWAG program is a chance to really educate people about the dangers of tobacco. Most people know that tobacco kills, but one thing they don't really understand is how much tobacco companies target our youth. And every day, I mean, just today I found out that in a general store in this area, there is a new big cigar toy that little kids can play with, and they can learn how to smoke a cigar when they're 8 years old. So it's really, really important to me to really show people just how important this is to everybody. I mean, we're not telling anyone they can't smoke. We're just asking them not to hurt everybody else around them, too.
I'm Allison Brown, and SWAG to me is a way to get my father informed about how dangerous it is that he's smoking and what he could be doing to me possibly. And I think it could really save his life if we are both aware of everything that's going on. And not only that, but we could change everyone around us. So.
Anybody else want to chime in? No? Okay. Okay. Why were you interested in joining SWAG? Kind of on the same thing.
Do you want me to say my name again?
Yeah, that's fine.
Allison Brown. I wanted to join for my father.
Alex Higginbotham, and a couple years ago I went to a conference in Fulton, Missouri, and before that I really hadn't been active in any of the anti-tobacco movement, and I didn't honestly know a whole lot about it, but really that conference opened my eyes. So many of those kids there had had their families torn apart by tobacco, and we had a circle that they did where all of these kids could share their stories, and some of them were so heartfelt. I mean, it just touched me. I don't personally have a real great story about tobacco prevention, but seeing how much it hurt these other people, that affected me in a way I couldn't have imagined.
Anybody else?
Can I say something?
Okay.
My name's Rami Buxton, and my mom is actually a social worker, and she would come home and tell like stories from what people would say about like just their personal stories. I mean, she wouldn't use their names or anything, obviously,
Yeah.
but like her teachers and stuff would do like personal stories, and they always said that like their clients or whatever, they would always start with smoking before they went on to other drugs and stuff. And I thought that like I don't want that in like my town or my state really, because I mean it just really ruins lives and it's just a sad story. So
Okay, great. Okay, next question. What are your hopes in relation to tobacco cessation, like for the future?
Allison Brown. I hope we can just save lives.
Anybody else? Sorry.
Okay, can you repeat your question?
Yeah, the question was, what are your hopes in relation to tobacco cessation?
To me, my biggest hope with tobacco cessation and with SWAG in general is that, like I was talking about earlier, we just have to let people know. I mean, there are so many great opportunities for them to go to these classes and learn about tobacco and learn about cessation and quit. But a lot of times they just don't know about them. So we really have to educate. A big part of this, I mean, we want to end tobacco use, but it all starts with education. You can't do anything if the people don't know about it. So you can't just go push a bill. You have to educate. So that's my number one thing about cessation is you just have to tell them. They have to understand what all this entails.
Great. Anybody else? No? Okay, what would you say to voters regarding Proposition B?
The big thing about Proposition B is that you'll see all over the state right now, they're running ads and they're putting up posters and they're doing everything they can to make you think that this is just some kind of tax increase. It's going to hurt everybody. Number one, Proposition B is only affecting smokers. Number two, Proposition B is raising the tobacco tax 73 cents. Right now we have a 17-cent tobacco tax, the lowest in the nation. with this increase of 73 cents, we are still 50 cents below the national average for tobacco tax. This isn't some big, huge government intrusion where we're raising these taxes to an incredible level. We're still below the national average. It's a step in the right direction, but there's still so much more work to do.
Anyone else? No? Okay, last question. What did you learn today about marketing? Somebody that hasn't chimed in, maybe? You don't have to, but no.
I think the biggest thing that I'll take away from this on the marketing aspect is that you have to relate to people. We hear so many numbers in our day that these numbers after numbers and statistics after statistics, they go over your head. I mean, it doesn't mean anything to you. You can't picture it. But when you can relate it to someone and make it personal, they're going to remember that. You have to have some kind of catchphrase, some kind of story that they're always going to remember. It's going to make an impact on them. And that's so much more important than just a bunch of facts. And so I think that was really the biggest thing that I learned here.
Anybody else?
I'm Rami Buxton, and okay, well, I think marketing-wise, what I'll take away from this is that even though the ads are made for adults and for older people, they said before that most of the people who are addicted usually start at the age of 18 or younger. And that's just like a real shock effect, and people don't want their kids to start smoking, and like you just have to really advertise that, because like Alex just said, people don't care about the numbers, they care about what it's going to do in their lives. I mean, they're not going to go online and check what it's going to be for their state unless they think that it's a big problem.
At the beginning of the meeting, they showed us a video of these kids in New York called Reality Check, I think it was the name of their group. They went and they were checking like this sign that looked it was like bigger than it was supposed to be by law. And it was taken down, and I was kind of surprised at that, because I was like, they actually totally just obliterated what they were not supposed to be doing. And that makes me think, what else around here is not being, done correctly, even if it is an official law. I mean, I don't know what all, like, if you do up the sales tax, I don't know if that's still going to actually make a difference, and, like, if people are going to listen to that. And, I mean, like, people are still selling drugs and stuff, and I mean, I don't know if that's going to be the same thing as, like, whenever people are, like, buying cigarettes and they're trying to sell them to minors or whatever, because that happens every day. So, I mean, I don't know how much that's going to change, so...